My friend, I'm really glad that you're here for this episode because I've got a question to ask you. And the question is for you if you're gathering information about loneliness, about how loneliness affects you physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially. And if you're getting ideas for how to feel more connected as you're moving through life. And the question is, are you starving while reading a cookbook? Perhaps it's time to stop gathering information and get living. Yuma, I'm Phil McAuliffe. I'm the loneliness guy, and this is a Connection Espresso. This is a mini episode of my podcast to give your mind, your heart, and your soul a quick connection boost as you, a beautiful gay man experiencing loneliness, go about your day. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get into it. Hello, how are you going today? I hope you're going really well wherever you are in the world. For the sake of engagement and all the things that YouTube really likes, I would really love it if you could press like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things that all the real YouTubers tell us to do to increase engagement, because I feel that this content really does need to get wider. Of course, I think it does. It needs to get wide, like many more eyes on it. And your help and support can really help it get to the far reaches of YouTube. And help guys find the content, just like you found it. I hope that you're going really well. Glad that you're here. Let's get into this episode. Like every episode, this Connection Espresso comes to you from Canberra, Australia's capital city, on the traditional country of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples. I want to first pay my respects to the elders of the Ngunnawal and Ngambri peoples, past, present, and emerging, and acknowledge them as the traditional custodians of the land upon which this episode was recorded, edited, and uploaded. I also want to extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening, and indeed all First Nations peoples listening and watching wherever you are in the world. Secondly, I want to recognise the courage you've shown in pressing play on this episode. I know that you don't look for content on loneliness unless you recognise that perhaps you've been feeling lonely. I'm glad that you found me and my content, or that you've come back for another episode. Either way, I'm really glad that you're here. I've noticed over the past year or so that the emotional literacy of the men I coach and mentor has increased significantly. It is just really so great to see. And the men who seek out my services often have been seeing a therapist for a while, and that therapist helps them understand their pasts and helps them with strategies and techniques to improve their current mental health. The men who find me and my service and engage my services have often been reading books and listening to a range of podcasts, including this one, that help them learn about mental and emotional wellness. And it's an honor for me to chat with these men because they've sought me out to support them through my services, to support and guide them as they listen to their loneliness and begin to get the connection that they've been looking for. And I'm often told that I'm really wise during these calls. It must be something to do with the grey hair and the grey beard, perhaps. I'm told that I can simplify and clarify their experience of loneliness in a way that really lands with them. This is, and I take it as a huge compliment. This understanding of loneliness helps these men work with their loneliness, not against it, to begin getting the connection that they need. And I am wise, and I'll explain why in a moment. I do have a knack for simplifying the complex and putting words and thoughts in a way that you feel them, not just understand them. I also often see the men that I coach and mentor take copious notes. It looks like they're trying to capture everything when drinking from a fire hose. Of course, I slow down and help them out, but I also ask why they're trying to capture so much. And the response is usually that they don't want to miss anything. And there it is. There it is. It's the gathering of all the information. They want to know all about loneliness and the importance of to their physical, mental, and emotional well-being when they feel socially connected. They simply love gathering the information. And I pay attention to, the taking of copious notes for maybe a call or two. And then I want to see how they're implementing what we've been talking about as they live their lives. I want to know how they have been choosing connection. I want to know whether they've been courageous and vulnerable so I can celebrate their awesomeness. And so that they know that they can have conversations. It proves to them that they can have conversations that go beyond the everyday, the trivial, the mundane, and the banal, and feel so much more connected afterwards. And often, the knowledge that they've gathered from all of these sources has stayed as just that, It's knowledge. It stays as knowledge. It stays as learning a theory. And I've started to say this to them. And I want to say this to you now if you're still in this information gathering phase about your loneliness. Knowledge is learned. Wisdom is earned. I'll repeat that again, just in case the accent was stripped you up. Knowledge is learned. Wisdom is earned. And the connection, my dear friend, that you seek comes from when you apply the knowledge. When you apply the knowledge, when you test the theories, when you run the social experiments, that's when you get the wisdom. And knowledge is great, do not get me wrong. Knowledge is fantastic. But the wisdom that comes from bravely and courageously applying the knowledge in your life is powerful. And to me, it's the difference between someone who collects all of the cookbooks, does nothing with the contents, in all of the cookbooks, does nothing with it, and slowly starves. And the difference between someone who gets the cookbooks, sees the recipes, gives them a try, and then over time begins to add their own take to the food that they're preparing. So, my friend, are you gathering information? Are you still at risk of socially starving even after reading and listening? And if you are, it's time to get doing. It's time to move from the theory into the practice. And I'm here for you when you're ready to turn that knowledge into wisdom. Of course, there's so much more that I could have said in this episode that may speak directly to your personal situation and how you're gathering information and bravely putting that knowledge to use. But I do need to wrap this up. But please tell me, how are you earning wisdom? How are you earning connective wisdom? That's it for this espresso. Be sure to check out all my work and services destigmatizing loneliness and promoting authentic connection for gay men globally. So for gay men like you and your friends through my website, thelonelinessguide.com. Please like, comment, and share this episode on your socials so it reaches more gay men experiencing loneliness and lets them know, just as you now know, that they're not alone as a gay man experiencing loneliness. Thank you so much for spending some time with me during this espresso shot and for choosing to spend some of your day with me. Until next time, take care of yourself, yada, and enjoy your day. Thanks, YouTube. Hope that was helpful. It really is time to flip that knowledge into wisdom. Let me know how you go. I'll see you next time.